Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new video. So as promised, I said I would sit down and do a Q&A. You guys have left me lots of questions and thank you so much for all the positive responses on my first trimester vlog. It was so nice to read through all your messages and all of your congratulations. It was really lovely. But like I said, I have a lot of questions to answer, so all I've done is kind of just screenshotted them on my phone, so I'm just going to go through them one by one and answer them as best I can. So for context, I'm currently 15.5 weeks pregnant with my 4th baby and we are very much a special needs family. 2 of my children have additional learning needs, one of which has complex medical needs and severe disabilities. My eldest son Zachary has autism and my daughter Avery, who is currently the youngest but not for long, has cerebral palsy as a result of a hypoxic brain injury shortly after birth. So there's a lot going on in our family. It's very chaotic but full of lots of fun and love as well. So let's get into these questions, and the first one honestly is probably, I feel like, maybe the biggest one on a lot of people's minds, and I know this is probably one of the questions that went over and over in my head before Josh and I even made this decision to have another baby, and that is how will you cope with the new baby and Avery? Now obviously this is something we really had to think about because I mean our boys are very self-sufficient at this point. Zach is 11 going on 12, Eli will be 10 this year. They are very self-sufficient and they don't need too much maintenance, I suppose. Avery on the other hand is of course very high maintenance. Like I said, she has complex medical needs, she has a lot of different conditions we have to keep an eye on. She's also tube fed, so there is a lot going on there, and Josh and I really had to sit and think about if we could cope with another baby alongside all of Avery's needs. Now 3 years ago our answer was absolutely not. 3 years ago I was dead set against having any more children just because life was so difficult. Avery was so unsettled most of the time. A lot of you might remember we couldn't go in the car with her without somebody being sat with her and keeping her heavily distracted because she got so distressed. So I couldn't go out with her anywhere on my own. She wouldn't tolerate any seating, she hated being in the pushchair, and it was really hard work. However, it's kind of night and day between that and what it's like now. Avery is doing so much better. I don't know if it's because she's older or we've just got a combination of meds right, but she tolerates seating beautifully. She is a very happy girl and she is fine in the car seat now. She doesn't need to be kind of heavily distracted in the car anymore. I can even sit in the passenger seat now when Josh is driving, which is a huge milestone. But back to the actual question, how will we manage? We just will. I mean, I think I'm going to have to be very strict with routine. That's something I have thought about. Now obviously with newborn babies you can't really expect them to adhere to a routine, and that is fine, but I am hoping that those first few weeks that Josh is on paternity leave I can at least get to know the baby's sort of natural routine. For example, when they usually wake up for their first feed in the morning, and kind of sort of fit that side by side with Avery's kind of cares and meds and feed that she has in the morning. Now something that is going to really work in our favour is that come September Avery actually starts school full time. She does go to school in the mornings now, but from September she is in school full time and she does actually get collected and dropped off, so I don't actually need to do a school run for Avery. The boys will also be in school full time, so that gives me an awful lot of time at home to bond with the baby on my own and to get other things done around the house that need to get done. So I feel like for me the hardest parts of the day are definitely going to be the 2 school run times. So the morning when I need to get all the kids ready for school and I need to get Eli to school and send Avery off on her school bus, and then same again in the afternoon. Come evening Josh will be coming home from work, so I'll have him there to help me. But I think those 2 parts of the day are probably going to be the hardest, but that's just 2 short parts of the day, so it will be chaotic for an hour or so and then it will be fine. And I feel like if I keep the mindset that, you know, it's not always this difficult, I'll get a break in a minute, then it should be fine. Now this is obviously assuming that, you know, I have a well-behaved baby in here. We'll see, but generally I think humans have this incredible talent of just being able to adapt. I think we've proved that well with Avery. I think we'll be fine. I'm really, really positive that we'll be able to manage. We will be fine. The next question is if we know the sex, or if we want to know the sex of the baby. Yes and yes. We do know the gender of our baby. I was quite happy to wait until the baby was born to find out what they were. Josh really wanted to know, and realistically it's probably better for us to know because it helps us to prepare. And preparation is definitely key with our lifestyle. But we do know the gender of our baby. We found out earlier this week actually. I will be sharing that news with you guys soon. I'm just coming up with a nice little gender reveal idea, and then I will be sharing that with you guys, but I will say that we are all over the moon. The next question is similar, is will you do a gender reveal? Yes, in the sense that I plan to do a gender reveal to you guys, but we're not obviously going to be doing a reveal for ourselves. We had that option. We had the option to go to the scan and have them kind of, you know, not tell us what the baby was and then come away and do something, but I really just wanted to find out there and then. We had Zach, Eli and Avery with us, and I just felt like it'd be really special for the boys to be able to see the baby and for us all to be able to kind of find out together. And the scan room was really nice. There were massive screens everywhere, so the boys got a really, really good view of the baby, and we just all got to find out there and then in the room, so it was really lovely. The next question is, will you be moving to a bigger house? The simple answer is we don't know. At the moment we are living in a council property, and ideally that is how it will stay. But there's a lot of factors that will kind of play into that. The first one is whether or not the council will ask us to move to a bigger house, because we're obviously adding another person into this house. This house is quite small, but we don't know. Housing is quite an issue everywhere at the moment, so it could just be that the council just ask us to make do. And if that's the case, then we will make do. The next one is, at the moment we are currently waiting on a surveyor to come round to have or to see if Avery can have a bathroom built onto the back of this house, because at the moment where our bathroom is and just the size of the bathroom isn't going to work for Avery as she grows up. As her equipment gets bigger, she does need her own bathroom, or we need that bathroom to be made bigger, and our door frames widen. So a surveyor needs to come round and see if that's actually possible. If it's not, they then may recommend to the council that the council rehouse us. So there's a lot of factors, but as it stands we are just going to plan to kind of stay in this house and spend as little money as possible, just in case, you know, we do end up getting moved. But we're just going to kind of act as though we are staying in this home. Someone asked me what I think causes the bloat. Honestly, I don't know. I think it is just a pregnancy symptom. I don't think there's any kind of specific foods that cause it. I just think that by the end of the day I get very, very bloated. It's not as bad now. In the early stages, by the end of the day, or even after I'd just drunk a cup of tea, I looked like I'd kind of advanced about 3 months into my pregnancy. I still look a lot bigger in the evenings now than I do in the mornings, but the bloating is definitely not as bad as it was. Especially in my first trimester, I experienced a lot of digestive issues. I think my digestive system just really slowed down, and it caused a lot of issues, and it was quite uncomfortable, but it seems to be settling down a little bit now that I'm entering my second trimester. Will your baby be kept an eye on by the cardiologist team? That is a good question, and I also wondered what would happen with this pregnancy in terms of risk factor. I wondered, would I be more high risk because of what happened with Avery and because I have two children being seen by cardiology? The answer is no. This pregnancy is being seen as completely separate. Because none of my pregnancies have actually suffered any complications and none of my births have suffered any complications, I am still low risk. Obviously that doesn't help me and Josh in terms of our anxiety, and we will definitely be keeping a close eye on this little one when they're born. For right now, they are just treating this as a completely separate pregnancy, and because all of my pregnancies have been fine, if you guys don't know, Avery didn't actually have her cardiac arrest until she was 3 days old, so by this point she'd had a healthy birth and the first few days were healthy. We still don't know what caused that cardiac arrest. Now, I have explained this to the midwife and I've explained why that makes us really, really uneasy. I feel like that anxiety is probably going to peak nearer the end of my pregnancy and when the baby is first born. And there's measures that Josh and I can take just to settle our anxiety a little bit there. But as far as we're aware at the moment, no, this baby won't need to be seen by cardiology or have any additional consultants on board. I have another question here about the gender, so I've already answered that one. Also, the same person asked about a nursery theme. There will be no nursery theme. There will be no nursery theme because this baby will not have a room of their own, which I'm completely fine with. I didn't really get to plan a nursery for Zach when he was born because he shared a room with me because I lived with my parents when he was born. With Eli, he shared a room with Zach, so I didn't get to kind of plan a separate nursery for him. I did get to design and plan a nursery for Avery, which was a really lovely experience, and I did get to have that experience, but I'm totally fine with not having to or needing to prepare a nursery this time round. The baby will be in with me and Josh, so we will obviously make changes to our bedroom to make sure we can accommodate the baby. And then after that, the baby will room share, so there'll be no need to kind of design a separate nursery. It'll be more kind of collaborating what's already in the house. Someone asked me how many children I already have. So like I said, this is my 4th pregnancy, so I have 4, but Josh also has a son from a previous relationship as well. So between Josh and I, this will actually be our 5th child. However, it is our 2nd child together. So Marley is Josh's from a previous relationship, Zach and Eli are mine from a previous relationship, Avery is ours together, and this baby is ours together as well. So we're very much a blended family and a big family at this point, but Josh is actually one of 7, so he comes from a big family. I'm actually one of 5 of a blended family. I have 2 brothers and also 2 stepbrothers, so I have quite a big family as well. And then going back in generations, my mum was part of quite a big family too, so big families do kind of run in our families on both sides, so I just feel like it's something that we're both used to. Someone asked me how I plan on Avery and the baby interacting with each other. This is a really good question, and honestly, when Josh and I decided to have another one, this is probably the kind of image that popped into my mind most of all and just filled me with all of the happy feelings. Avery is quite happy laying on the floor, so I definitely intend to have time for Avery and the baby to lay on the floor together. Avery shows a lot of interest in other children, so I'm really hoping that she'll really enjoy laying on the floor with the baby. And 100% we will give Avery the opportunity to hold the baby, whether that be Avery sat on one of our laps and then the baby kind of cradled by us at the same time, or Avery tucked into the corner of the sofa with one of us kind of supporting her, sat next to her with the baby sort of laying over her. Avery will definitely get those opportunities as well, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. That being said, I'm also looking forward to the boys being, you know, a fair bit older this time round. Even with Avery, that was 4 years ago, I was still kind of on tenterhooks when we first brought her home, when the boys kind of held her for the first time, because it felt like they were still so small, but they're much bigger now, so I feel as though they will be able to independently hold the baby as well, under supervision of course, but I'm really looking forward to that and just seeing the bond that the kids create with the new baby. The same person also asked how we're going to tell the children about the baby. So the kids already know, and they also asked if we were gonna tell Avery in any kind of separate way. So actually Avery was in on the secret right from the beginning. Obviously we knew Avery couldn't tell anyone, so we were kind of sharing the news with Avery and talking to her about it right from the very beginning, which was really nice. It almost felt as though we had a little secret with Avery that no one else knew. We told the boys once we found out we were kind of in the clear, and we didn't do it in any special way or anything, to be honest. I feel as though they're just not, you know, overly interested in things like that. So we did tell them, and I mean, they seemed excited. I'm not gonna lie, both of them thought that we were joking at first, Zach and Eli. And when we told Marley, his response was, oh, not another one, which we thought was hilarious. But they are all really excited, which is really nice, especially now, you know, a few weeks has passed and they also know, you know, whether they're having a brother or sister. It's really nice that they're in on it now, and to be honest, I'm glad we told them as soon as we did. We did obviously wait until we were kind of out of the sort of danger zone. But yeah, it feels really nice that they know and they can get excited with us. The same person also asked if we have any boy or girl names that we like. There's definitely names that we like. Josh was quite set on a boy name right from the beginning. Don't want to share any names, like girl or boy names, just in case we end up using any of them, and I feel like that's something else I kind of want to keep a secret until the end. I quite like almost like southern names. That sounds really strange, but I kind of Google like cowgirl and cowboy names, like Southern American names. I don't know why, I really like them. So we'll see. We have nothing really set yet, and I feel as though that might end up being something that me and Josh argue a lot over. Avery was fairly easy because Josh and I weren't married. Josh basically just said to me, as long as she can have my last name, you can pick the first name. So Avery was really easy because I, you know, almost didn't have to kind of agree on a name with Josh. I just kind of chose it myself. This time I think we're definitely going to have to compromise and agree on a name, so I feel like it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we have a good few months yet to decide on something solid. And that is actually all of the questions, so I feel like I got through those a lot quicker than I thought I would. My first trimester vlog was only actually posted last night and it seems to be quite popular, so if I do get any more questions after this video, I will probably just do sort of mini Q&As within other vlogs. So yeah, I hope I answered your question if you asked one, and thank you for sending them all in. It's actually been really nice answering them, and thank you all for being so positive. That's just been really nice. It's honestly been a breath of fresh air. Obviously I was quite nervous to share the news with you guys because you know, when you put your life on the internet, you do expect some negativity. It's kind of a given, but honestly I actually haven't had one person be negative yet, which has been really nice, and it's definitely made me feel really comfortable. So I'm really excited to share this journey with you guys, and with all that said, I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.